So we can do what's Hondo on the mic. From Leo's Paradise, random stream drop like a Dragon Ball fight. No lie, land stream stacking up, but here's a twist in time. Freestyling on the deck like Luffy's punchlines. Up the channels faster than Zoro sword swings. Gaming pop culture, it's the chaos he brings. Talking movie reboots, superhero hype. Hondo passing the mic, now Bishop's in sight. Cutting flip screen, frame by frame, I align. Laying bass lines heavy, keep the rhythm divine. Dropping 5 videos, can't keep up with the pace. Pass the mic back, Leo's leading the chase. Off the rails, no script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. No script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. The rails, no script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life.
Welcome back to the lunch hour. How are all you vital idols doing? You love to see it. Hope you got that protein. Hope you, what the hell is going on in my hair here? Hold on. We gotta fix that. There we go. There we go. It's better than whatever that was going on. Man, I hadn't even looked in a mirror yet in a few hours. Yo, anyway, how are we doing? Like I was saying, hope you got some protein. Hope you got you that green tea, which I admittedly don't have today, but I got plenty of water, and we are going to get through the day. It's a hump day, which means we are halfway through the week. We are halfway through the week, and I'm here to set you through it, here to give you the best in the news, reviews, the whole nine. We can talk politics, we can talk nerd culture, frankly, we're going to talk a lot of politics, a lot of social stuff. Before we get into any of that, I got to fix my settings, for my video settings, so hold on. There's the chat, bingo, bango, bongo, there it is. Alright, who we got in the house? We got the gas station burrito is here. Sergeant Garatina in the house. We got Abomination AJ, what up? Yes, Bishop. That is a fire intro. I wonder what mad lads, some Irish gentleman from Portugal, oddly enough, would have made that. Such a mystery. Now, what up, Bishop? How you doing? Alex Moore's been a minute. How you doing? Alex Cryptic Manga's in the house. Gravestone. Sir Old Man Cad. Catzilla. Matt Fun and Cool. Matt Stanford. Wow, 2 Matts back to back. You love to see it. Thron Kill is in the house. So many of y'all showing up at the lunch hour. You love to see it. Alright, gang. Let's do this. Let's not waste any time. Lionheart, what is up? So, a lot of people have been talking about this. Some news broke yesterday. Some news broke that I don't think came as a shock to anybody. To literally anyone whatsoever. This right here. YouTube admits everything. YouTube, and by extension Google, Alphabet, all of them, full on admitted that they were censoring right-wing and Republican voices. Is anyone surprised? Is anyone surprised at all? No? No, yeah, me neither. This, absolutely everyone said it. Everyone said it for years. People said it wasn't happening. YouTube said it wasn't happening. The left said it wasn't happening. Just right-wingers bitching and moaning. Oh, they want to be victims. Oh, they want to be targets. Well. Turns out what we've been saying for ages is true. I'm just surprised they actually admitted it. So let's find out all the juicy details.
YouTube has
I've been holding off on learning about this specifically so I could go in and talk about it here on the show with you guys today. So yeah, let's find out. Ella made me yowdy, girly.
So YouTube have just admitted that, in fact, under pressure from the Biden White House, they decided to censor not only conservatives, but people who are critical of the COVID-19 narrative and the narrative of the 2020 election. And that's really rather remarkable, isn't it? Because there are loads of people who have had their...
Which, to be fair, he says not only conservatives, and technically that's true. However, in these people's eyes, you were far right, you were right wing, you were conservative, no matter what. It didn't matter if you were on the left, didn't matter if you were centrist, doesn't matter. There was a lot of left-leaning individuals. Believe it or not, there was a lot of left-leaning individuals that questioned the vaccine. There was a lot of centrists that were like, man, Joe Biden, most votes in the history of ever? That something seems weird, guys. But no, you were, by YouTube standards and by the standards of your average leftist, you were far right if you had that belief.
accounts removed because of...
Fuck, Matt's correct. Damn it. What is that word? It starts with an F. Isn't there a word for this kind of behavior between government pressure and corporations restricting citizens' rights? I wish I could think of it. I wish I knew the word you were referring to. You would think I would remember after being called nearly daily for the last nearly decade. Man, fuck it, fascist. That's right, fascist.
Political pressure and for political reasons, as well as the concerns about, like, medical misinformation and things like this. And this is not good enough, is it? This is something that really there should be some restitution on this. I mean, I personally was demonetized for 5 years because I made a joke. So, I mean, and you can imagine how badly that...
That's okay. I'm actually testing YouTube. I'm testing YouTube. I didn't know what to cover today. Like in terms of for video. Because I was doing my videos a day in advance, night before, things like that. And I wasn't sure what to cover today. But when I was making my video last night. And I was looking back, I was like, well, I know I'm going to talk about this stuff today. So what's the video going to be on? And I was like, wait a sec. They talk about censoring right-wing voices. Talk about the medical. Talk about the medical, mumbo-jumbo and censorship. Let's test that theory. And that is the main reason why today's video that I did was about Donald Trump's Tylenol statements. Like, I wanted to see how that performs compared to my other videos. I want to see how that performs compared to my other videos. Because I wonder if there's censorship afoot, if they're still doing it the whole nine. So if you haven't seen today's video, obviously when the stream is over, check that out. But I am curious.
Hit me. So imagine how badly it is to have your entire account taken away. Because I could at least still talk to you guys. But I tell you what, loads of my friends
What up, Jamma?
have just had their accounts just completely waxed. And that's it. YouTube have not said or done anything until now. So this comes after House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan subpoenaed Alphabet, which is Google and YouTube's parent company. And so they sent him this letter basically admitting everything. And it's actually kind of crazy how how genuinely open and like, yeah, we did all the terrible stuff and we were bad. And we're not going to say...
Yeah, look, I'm not claiming that Google and Alphabet, all them are the good guys. I'm not in the slightest. But I am surprised, bro, Matt Taibbi had to, fight to get the Twitter files and shit released back then. You remember how hardcore the Twitter files went? And that was a fight. And now Google and Alphabet's just like, our bad.
Sorry, but, we shouldn't have done it. We're not going to do it again. It's like, okay, but doesn't this open them up to lawsuits? I'm sure there are going to be loads of people who actually could start lawsuits against them now because they've basically admitted that they shouldn't have done what they did. So they explain what Alphabet is, and they call it the company. And so Jim Jordan is, of course, advancing the core American value of freedom of expression, which is something that not just YouTube, but Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and any others, TikTok in particular, are not really that bothered about and haven't been in the very recent past. Because remember, we're only going back let's say 5 years, right? We're not even going back that long. A lot of this happened in 2023 and 2024. So it's just, okay, well, fair enough. Let's carry on. They talk about how the COVID-19 pandemic was an unprecedented time in which online platforms had to reach decisions about how best to balance freedom of expression with responsibility, including
No, it shouldn't have been that hard, actually. It shouldn't have been that hard at all. And I know that this is asking a lot of our corporate overlords that want to control us and manipulate us and force us into a one-world government and eventually live in the pods and eat the bugs, but it shouldn't be that hard. The way you balance freedom of expression with responsibility is you have the responsibility to allow us our fully protected freedom of expression by the fucking Constitution.
with respect to the moderation of user-generated contents that could cause real-world harm. Well, we haven't actually seen any of the real-world harm, really. It's hard to directly link the two together. But they say senior Biden administration officials, including White House officials, conducted repeated and sustained outreach to Alphabet and pressed the company regarding certain user-generated content related to the COVID-19 pandemic that did not violate its policies. While
I suppose there is one upside to all this. It talks about how, the White House and how certain institutions, organizations reached out to Google, reached out to Alphabet, stayed in contact with them, pressured them into this sort of mentality. And if there's one silver lining, it means that we are not in the dystopian cyberpunk future where corporations rule everything. At least we're not there quite yet. It looks like the federal government is still more powerful than Google.
The company continued to develop and enforce its policies independently. Biden administration officials continue to press the company to remove non-violative user-generated content. As Alphabet grappled with these decisions, the administration officials, including President Biden, created a political atmosphere that sought to influence the actions of the platforms based on the concerns regarding misinformation. Now, that's true, and they did exactly the same thing to Twitter, and Twitter banned a bunch of accounts based on precisely the same reason. And it was also that
well done,
with
Matt.
the 2020 election itself, where no matter what narrative you believe, the narrative that it was a stolen election was just roundly deplatformed. I mean, at Load Seaters, our YouTube channel got 2 strikes for discussing these discrepancies that led to Biden being the most popular president that's ever lived. So
Exactly. There is no way on God's green earth that Joe fucking Biden, this isn't even about a pro-Trump thing, or a Republican, or a conservative thing. We to this day know there's no fucking way on God's green earth that by normal means Joe Biden got more votes than any president in the history of any election ever. But that is what they wanted us to believe for the presidency of 2020. And if you questioned it, you are at best demonetized, at worst full-on kicked off the platform. Like, that doesn't... And they tried to send this narrative that, oh, you're questioning it. You're talking about how the election was fraud. Oh, Dominion voting machines were changing vote. No, it's as simple as the left changed the rules. The left, very much changed the rules on ballot harvesting and on mail-in voting. Basically, they got a whole ass advantage by playing dirty, but still legal, that the right just wasn't willing to do. In fact, when the 2024 election rolled around, the right took notes, and they did it. They did the exact same things the left did, because when you change the rules of the game, both sides got to adhere to those rules, and the right fucking wised up. But yes, it was a stolen election, not stolen in terms of they did anything illegal, but no, they changed the rules, they played by the new rules, they played by the new rules better, but the new rules are kind of fucking broken. Like when you're playing, like cops and robbers, that one kid at recess in 2nd grade, and all of a sudden he's got a fucking like special gun with unlimited ammo, or he's got a bulletproof vest or whatever, so like the Indians can't harm him. That's a dated reference, but let's see if YouTube censors me for that one.
Saying, bit weird, but not only that, there have been loads of people who had their accounts taken down. I mean, for just specifically the COVID stuff, Dave Cullen's Computing Forever channel is the most egregious one I'm aware of. But there are doubtless loads and loads and loads of channels I just wasn't aware of and didn't watch that were talking about this, that YouTube just whacked. There's going to be a combined of millions of subscribers gone, livelihoods destroyed because of this. So that's pretty bad. So they...
Now, mind you, this is at a time when obviously, quote unquote, right-wing grifting, if you want to call it grifting, okay, fair enough, means that money was being made. Now, obviously, I don't consider it grifting. Grifting is, lying to make money, snake oil salesman. But let's say you want to call it right-wing grifting. They were removing content that was, by all estimations, making them money. The government stepped in and controlled the flow of YouTube's money. They said, we don't care if this is making money. The influence is scarier than the cash flow. We're telling you to shut this shit down regardless of whether you lose money or not. The government came in and did that to a private business, right? But yet, as I recall, I was told just a couple of days ago that the FCC telling Jimmy Kimmel that his show has to go, which, by the way, there's still no proof actually happened. But the FCC telling the a private company, Disney, ABC, the show has to go. That's a violation of free speech. That's a violation of First Amendment rights. Same logic, same motherfucking logic.
Say it's unacceptable and wrong when any government, including the Biden administration, attempts to dictate how the company moderates policy. And the company has consistently fought against those efforts on First Amendment grounds. Oh yeah, where was the legal challenge then? Where were you making the legal challenge? I don't recall seeing it. I don't recall seeing the lawsuit from Alphabet against the president or the United States government.
Because it never happened.
For creating a political atmosphere of censorship. I don't recall seeing that. Maybe I missed it, but I don't think you actually did do anything to quote-unquote fight those against those efforts. Did you? Anyway, they then go on to YouTube and how, of course, it is the largest...
Yeah, I mean, don't for a moment mistake this as, like, Alphabet or Google or YouTube or anyone being the victim here. I good goddamn guarantee you they were more than happy to comply. Remember, this is when Mama Susan was still alive. I good goddamn guarantee you Mama Susan was more than happy to comply with this.
Watching platform, and it's a huge thing. It's a huge ecosphere. YouTube takes seriously the importance of protecting free expression and access to a range of viewpoints. Okay, but why was Stefan Molyneux deplatformed just out of nowhere for no reason? Like, why was he taken down under the tyranny of Susan Wojcicki? And again, the COVID stuff happened under her too. I remember that she decided she was just going to force pro-establishment COVID narratives in everyone's face. Which, I mean, that's what you would expect, isn't it? But
to this day, you still, if you put COVID or anything like that in your YouTube titles or descriptions, you still get little, like, YouTube community notes under your video about COVID and about vaccinations. Guys, we are in 2025, and YouTube is still community noting fucking COVID videos. Not necessarily deplatforming them, not necessarily demonetizing them, but they're still giving those little homo-ass community notes.
But another thing on that as well is that they were constantly flip-flopping between narratives. When Fauci or the World Health Organization or whoever would come out and say, it's this, and then a week later or a month later, oh no, it's that. And then a month after that, oh no, it's the other thing. YouTube's community guidelines have had to move and slalom with them, and people are just getting striked, taken down, as the facts change. So they weren't really facts in the first place, obviously. But anyway, they say that YouTube's community guidelines and terms of service apply equally to all users. I mean, that's not true, is it? Like, the media, like established media corporations can publish whatever they want, however violent or gory or whatever, and it's never, like, age limited or anything like that. And Destiny and people on the left have been saying incredibly insane things for many years now, and they're still there. So I don't believe you, for a start. It's obvious. We can see that you have had a bias against conservatives. You've had a bias against people who are critical of the narrative. Dissidents, we could just say. Overall, and this is on any narrative. This is why conservatives have found themselves as dissidents, because they have been critical of left-wing narratives. This is why the anti-vax guys have been deplatformed, because they were critical of the COVID vaccine. This is why, 2020 truthers have been deplatformed, because they were critical of these things. anyone who is skeptical of the official narratives has found themselves, well, on the wrong end of the guidelines. And YouTube has gone, well, we ended the COVID-19 ones. We got rid of the discussion on the election ones. And, no, they don't say we're really sorry, actually. I'm not going to put words into their mouth. But they say, we continue to enable a diversity of perspectives and believe creators should be able to openly debate political ideas on the platform. Okay.
Now, if I was to be fair, and I feel like I'm nothing if not a fair man. I've made this point a few times. YouTube actually is not as bad as people say, at least nowadays. At least in the last few years, are not near as bad as A, they used to be, or B, as a lot of other places. The level of freedom you have on YouTube compared to other outlets was still better. I mean, you were still able to have Joe Rogan on the platform, Tim Pool on the platform, Steven Crowder on the platform, getting these ideas across. Now, was it perfect? Not at all. Does it make an excuse for him? No. But like, if I was to compare 2020 YouTube to 2020 Twitter, one is notably worse than the other. One is notably worse than the other. Absolutely, Twitter was worse. That just one example. TikTok has always been worse. TikTok has always been far more egregiously censorious of right-wing and conservative and even just centrist or center-right-leaning views than YouTube ever.
Then why not restore someone like Lauren Chen? What does she actually do wrong? She was accused of being a Russian puppet or something, but the FBI have closed the investigation into her. So is she? If you're closing the investigation, then it seems that she's not, right? She hasn't committed a crime. She's not done espionage or whatever. I don't even know what they were accusing of. But she's not done whatever she's been accused of, and yet her channel's still gone. So
now, YouTube has said there will be a process for reinstating all of these channels. I'm wondering how that will go. I'm curious how that will go. That's a lot. Look, that's a lot of channels. That's a lot of channels. And I don't know if YouTube saying this is just lip service, or if they actually are going to begin an installation process. I was reading a post yesterday that stated they were going to slow roll it. They were going to bring slow roll the idea of bringing back many of the larger channels that were shut down, and then they were going to expand it from there. But what does that process look like, and is it even worth it? Is it even worth it for a lot of these people to come back? So many of them, like Russell Brand, for example, jumped ship, went to Rumble, got sweet-ass deal from Rumble too. Honestly, it wouldn't be worth it for someone like Russell Brand to come back. By the way, Russell Brand was booted. The reason, the allegations of sexual misconduct. You remember that? You remember the accusations of sexual misconduct against Russell Brand? Now, I'm not here saying whether it did or not. That's why I'm using the word allegations. If you know Russell's past, you know that look, there may be something. Who's to say? I don't know. Dude was a freak back in the day. That being said, allegations that were all the rage in the news cycle for 2 weeks, 2-ish weeks. I covered the shit out of the Russell Brand stuff when it was happening until it wasn't happening anymore. Has there even been any resolution to that? I don't think so. I've not heard of any resolution to the Russell Brand stuff. Or if there has been resolution, then I guarantee you it was we're dropping this. Turns out it wasn't what we thought it was. It was entirely an act of attempted censorious behavior, and it didn't work, and it failed, and he was exonerated, but we're just going to quietly sweep this under the rug, and YouTube's still not going to bring it back. I don't know. But business-wise, would it even make sense for Russell Brand to come back? He got that sweet-ass Rumble deal. Why would he come back to the platform that destroyed his reputation over, as I'm aware, allegations, not a crime, but allegations of a crime that may or may not be true. When he got a sweet-ass deal from Rumble, YouTube's main competitor, and what drew a lot of business away from YouTube.
For political reasons, she's gone. She can't debate the political ideas on the platform. She had like 500,000 followers or something. Does she get her channel back? Notice how I've got loads of friends I can just reel off who have had their channels tanked. I mean, like I said, I got demonetized for 5 years over a joke as well. So it's not like I haven't paid my price in all of this too. So it's weird how me and a bunch of my friends have been through these fires, and I'm the one left standing going, okay, but I would like all of these people back. And if I'm forgetting, like, you know, that you you had a big channel and you're, you know, a friend of mine, and I've not mentioned you, I'm sorry. I want everyone back. I want
everyone back too. I want everyone back. And let me tell you, I don't like Stefan Molyneux. I never have. I've always found Stefan Molyneux to be a grating, annoying grifter who, in my opinion, gives the right wing a bad name. That doesn't mean he shouldn't have a channel. He should absolutely still be here. Is Paul Joseph Watson still on YouTube? Is he monetized? For a while he was demonetized. I don't know if he ever got fully kicked off or not, but for a while he was demonetized. If he's still around, he should be remonetized. If he's not around, he should be allowed to come back. And we can debate in open discourse. Because again, I'm not a big fan of Paul Joseph Watson. I think he is the absolute stereotype of the closeted gay conservative. But dude should be here. Dude should be monetized if he's getting the views. If he's bringing in the views. But again, I'm not caught up on Paul Joseph Watson, so I could be wrong.
Everyone back. Like Gavin McGuinness is another one. I mean, like Nick Fuentes and all those types. Alex Jones, InfoWars. Like, there are so many who got their channels taken down for, you know, being mean or for criticizing narratives that were the official establishment.
Correct, Chill Noir. Correct.
Like it was like genuinely like a moral panic that got Alex Jones taken down as well. Totally unfair, totally uncalled for. Why isn't he restored? He should be restored. They say no matter the political atmosphere, YouTube will continue to enable free expression on its platform, but that's the problem. Alex Jones in particular, his deplatforming, and same with Stefan Molyneux as well, was in the grip of a moral panic amongst the Twitterati. And now that Twitter is not a left-wing platform, I'm not saying it's a right-wing platform, I think Elon is actually allowing a broad range of opinion on it, a very broad.
Now, in fact, last year, I don't know if this is still the case, but the numbers last year, when it came to the number of people on the platform on X that identified right versus left, it was damn close to 50-50, but still had a left-wing bias. It was like 56-44 or 53-47, something like that. So even though X was now allowing conservative voices, the majority of users were actually still on the left. Now, again, this was information from last year, and a lot has happened since last year, so I don't know if that's still the case. But yes, Sargon is entirely correct here.
Range of opinion in some cases. Now that that's not the case, are these people all getting their channels back? Why shouldn't Alex Jones get his channel back? Why shouldn't Stefan Molyneux? Why shouldn't Gavin McGuinness? Why shouldn't Lauren Chen? Why shouldn't all of these people, again, all of these people I'm friends with, why shouldn't they get all their channels back? Of course they should. Of course they should. And to be honest with you, they're probably entitled to some sort of compensation, aren't they? If you're admitting fault here, can they? I'm not a legal expert, so I don't know. But maybe some lawyer channels are like, well, hang on a second, guys. You may have opened yourself up to liability here.
So I had that thought when this news first came out, but I don't think so. Because, I mean, again, YouTube can choose to enforce its TOS as they see fit, or as they saw fit. Now, we can find it morally reprehensible. We can find this an affront to the very fabric of our rights and freedoms. But I don't think there's a legal case here. Now, I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong, and I don't really dabble in law tube all that much. It's just never really been my thing. Every now and again, I'll bring up a lawyer or whatnot when there's an interesting case going on. The Johnny Somali stuff, things that happen in Japan with anime and whatnot, or video games, like stuff like that's interesting. But I don't really dabble. I don't watch any of the liars. Like, I don't watch, Legal Eagle. Don't watch Legal Mindset. None of them. So I don't know if there is a. Did I go quiet? No, it's still the same on my end. Still the same on my end, War Wizard. Anyway, but yeah, I'd be wondering. I'm definitely wondering what they have to say about this. So if any of them do end up making statements about whether or not there'll be compensation, about whether or not there'll be a lawsuits, definitely drop that in the Discord. Definitely drop that in the React Request section of the Discord. I would love to see what LawTube has to say about this. Also, Yarnwitch Raid, thank you so much. Truly appreciate the raid, Yarny. Thank you. I hope you're doing good, girlie. It's been 2 minutes it's been too long since we've talked. I hope you're doing good. You need to hit me up, girlie.
Anyway, they carry on. And it's nothing terribly interesting until the end part here. YouTube values conservative voices on its platform and recognizes that these creators have extensive reach and play an important role in civic discourse. The company recognizes these creators are among those shaping today's online consumption, landing must-watch interviews, giving viewers the chance to hear directly from politicians, celebrities, business leaders, and more. Well,
and YouTube hates that. YouTube hates it. They can acknowledge it's the truth. But I bet they wrote that shit through gritted teeth. You gotta understand, this wouldn't even have come out if we had a Kamala Harris presidency. That is how fucked up this is. This information, if it were not for Donald Trump getting elected, this would have come out. I don't think you understand how massive of a deal this is. We need to break this down. Variety, the news outlet Variety reported just last week that in every single demographic, YouTube is outperforming mainstream TV, regular TV. Doesn't matter if you are 65 and up. Doesn't matter if you're 11 years old. More people in the entire country use YouTube as their primary television source now than anything else. I don't know how many of y'all got like older grandparents or anything like that. Parents, grandparents, whatnot. On average, the elderly, even the elderly, are watching YouTube more than they are watching regular TV. That is what Variety reported. So when YouTube comes out and shows legal documentation showing, yeah, the Biden administration made us censor conservative voices, that censorship was to every single demographic in the U.S. I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in the U.S. This is a huge story because we're talking 2 to 11, 12 to 17, 18 to 34, 35 to I think it's 42 or 45 or something. And then or maybe it's up to 64, and then 65 plus. I don't remember how the numbers broke down exactly, but those different age groups. So yes, we are dealing with one of the most blatant stories of government censorship in our lifetime. This is the equivalent. If you were to go back to, let's say, 2002. Go back to 2002, obviously the main... You know what? No. Let's go back to the past. Let's go back to the 50s, when radio was the most prevalent. Let's do... I think this is a better example. When everyone got their news from radio, because home TVs were not near common yet, and there wasn't a 24-hour news cycle. Yes, people got it from newspapers. Yes, people got it from TV. But the predominant source of news was radio. Imagine if a story came out back then that during Eisenhower's presidency, he actually forcibly censored all right-wing voices on the entirety of the radio. That is the equivalent to what we've got going on here, but extrapolated and multiplied by hundreds of thousands. This cannot be understated.
Well, I mean, it hasn't felt like that for many a year now. I wasn't even a conservative back then, but like, I guess as a conservative content creator and a conservative voice on the platform, I've got to admit, it really hasn't felt that way. It's really felt actually like we were living under the sword of Damocles, and the horsehair that was attaching it to the ceiling was getting thinner and thinner and fraying apart more and more, with each one of us that shunk was taken out by the sword, right? It didn't feel for a second like you did, and I really have trouble believing that's the case now. I think it's just that because Trump's in charge, you're like, okay, Trump might do something crazy. Like, God only knows what his intention and regulation or whatever it might be that he does. So maybe we'll just play ball. We actually don't want to get in any further trouble with the Trump administration.
That's why I say YouTube is gritting their teeth when they write, "We acknowledge that there are conservative voices and they're a big part of the platform." They don't want to admit that, but yes, he's correct. YouTube is playing ball now that Daddy Trump is in office. 100% that's what's going on.
His face, Jim Jordan is currently leading the witch hunt and the Inquisition into them, which again, Godspeed, keep going. Maybe they're just, obviously they're like, yeah, we just want to play ball, because of course now they go onto the regulatory landscape and they're like, yeah, well, we're for completely unlimited free speech. That wild west of the internet, well, we enjoyed that. We'd like to go back to that. And to be honest with you, I'd love to go back to that.
Me too.
I miss the wild west of the internet. It was so much more fun. Like YouTube in like 2013, 2014 was just banging. It was just so good. Anyway, the point being, on the plus side, we as the right can take this as a massive win, right? What we should be doing now is @ing Team YouTube on Twitter and asking them to restore your favorite content creator who is deplatformed. I think it's just raise enough noise and get them back. Like I tweeted at Elon Musk the other day. Gavin McInnes is still banned. Why? He's really not very extreme, considering where the political environment is at the moment. Could he be restored?
Now maybe I'm biased here. Now, Gavin should 100% be on X. Gavin should be on X. I don't like Gavin Newsom. Gavin McInnes. I don't like Gavin Newsom either. I don't like Gavin McInnes. That being said, he should be allowed on X. YouTube, I don't know. Look, I don't like Gavin McInnes, but it's not because I don't like him that I don't think he should be on the platform. I still remember almost 3 years ago when he pulled that shit on Gary's channel, on Neurotic's channel during Friday Night Tights, when he whipped his dick out. Like, that is... instances like that, whether it was on his channel or whether he was a guest on someone else's like he was on FNT, to me, that is too far. That's when they're like, nah, shut that shit down. Dude whipped his dick out on a live stream. That shit needs to be shut down. So I'm pretty torn on Gavin McInnes. I absolutely think he should be on X. Whether I like him or not, he should be on X. X is the public square. It is the public square of free speech. But YouTube is, as much as I think YouTube is in that same vein, I mean, there's still got to be some sort of rules. And I think whipping your dick out on a live stream that's a bridge too far. There's not a lot of stuff I think is too far, but I do think that one's too far.
Elon replies to me and goes, oh, what was that? And boom, within a day, he's back. And now he's back tweeting. Why shouldn't he be back on YouTube? Why shouldn't he? If Sam Hyde's on YouTube, and he should be, Gavin McInnes should be on YouTube. Like, all of our friends should be back on YouTube. And so I think the best thing to do is to tweet at Team YouTube and say, look, I miss this person. This is their channel. Please restore it. I was a big fan. And maybe, just maybe, we can turn the clock back and get the gang back together.
So yeah, interesting. Definitely interesting. I'm very curious as to where this is going to go. I'm very curious as to where this is going to go. YouTube definitely has some splaining to do. I think they have a responsibility to bring back as many of the creators as they can that truthfully and honestly violated no TOS. Or, if they did violate TOS, didn't violate the 3-strike rule. Because that's another thing. YouTube is supposed to have a 3-strike rule. Many of these creators, many of them, got yoinked from the platform with 0 to 1 strike. Why? Why didn't they get the 3-strike rule implemented that was supposed to have been implemented like everybody else? There are channels out there that had never had a single strike that got just yanked from the platform, and then it came out that YouTube updated their TOS, then retroactively applied multiple strikes all in one hit to sometimes years old content. Years old content. No, that needs addressed. That needs fixed. If your TOS changes, what you put out prior to the TOS change should have no bearing. None. And usually that's the way it works. It only is retroactively applied when there is targeted censorship happening. We saw it happen multiple times. So yeah, needless to say, I'm very curious where this is going to go. If anybody wants me to follow up on this, definitely put stuff that you find or see or whatnot in the Discord in the React request section. Because I wonder what LawTube has to say. But yeah, these are my thoughts. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, and I will see y'all on the next one. Just in case I clip this into a segment. I don't know if I'm going to or not. But in case I clip this into a segment, there's that. Let's see. Gonna take a moment to grift. Guys, here's the dealio. Sony State of Play starts at 3:30, give or take. No. I'm still live, EB. I'm still live. I just, I might clip that segment into its own video, so if there are people that see it for the first time, I want them to know. But yeah, no. Sony State of Play is around 3:30, give or take. I normally wrap the show at 3. So, what we're going to do, grift, because we ain't seen no donos, no supers, or nothing yet. If you guys want me to extend the show and cover the entire State of Play, if we can get 150 in super chats or memberships, just 150 in donos total before 3 o'clock, I'll extend the show, and we will also turn this into a Sony State of Play coverage live stream. So that's the dealio. In fact, let me make a pinned comment real quick stating as such. And then we, of course, have the normal 250, and we do a Discord party. Let's see. Let me go ahead and put a pinned comment on here. Hey, look at that. EB being an absolute legend. I'll get you your clip in 1 second, son. There we go. Nope, not Stony. Sony. Bingo, bango, bongo. EB coming in hot. Let me pin this comment. There it is. EB with 2 Words of Paradise memberships. 2. That puts us at 10. You absolute legend. Thank you so much. Let's see what we got for you. You know what? We'll do this one.
Name one word that starts with G pronounced like J. Gentrification. Shoot! Should have thought of that. I was just in San Francisco.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Thank you so much, EB. And follow Colette for a 5-banger. FWC with a 5-banger. Lurking while I work. Good day, Leon in chat. Good day to you, sir. Good day to you. Appreciate you showing up. Let's double up on the Sonic memes.
Now excuse me while I harass someone for having pronouns in their bio.
Bingo, bango, bongo. There it is. Alrighty. So we got another video here. Now, I'm not familiar with this channel. I've heard of it, but I've never seen them. I've never watched them. I don't know if their content is any good. I don't know if it's right-wing grifter content. I don't know if it's anti-left-wing content. I don't know if it's AI slop, whatever. Liberal hive mind. You guys familiar? I'm surprised that it's gone. That I've heard of them. I've definitely heard of them, but I don't think I've ever seen any of their content. Liberal hive mind. You guys fans? You guys know these guys? Well, they've got a video, came out yesterday, said the left-wing civil war has begun, and the thumbnail is them just fucking destroying Destiny. Just fucking destroying Destiny. So, I love any sort of video that would be willing to go after Destiny. So we're going to watch this. The left-wing civil war has begun.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Folks, there's a lot of moving pieces to this Charlie Kirk fallout, and now that it's been over a week, there's been a lot of time, I guess, for the dust to settle, and I gotta tell you, things are becoming quite clear for me. I think the initial reaction of this being a turning point, well, it's proving to be an accurate sentiment, as we're now seeing the left fracture. You know, the left wing loves to brand itself as the party of unity and tolerance and inclusivity, the side that's coherent, compassionate, bringing people all under one banner to march towards progress, but in reality, they are fracturing and pulling into all kinds of different extreme directions. And I think the Charlie...
Alright, so I was waiting for a moment where he, would take a pause so that I could pause it, but no, apparently the dude's like me, and he just goes without stopping to, inhale. So, meme of the day, leftists when a dentist tells them their teeth should be white and straight. Good meme. Good meme. And yes, he is 100% correct in what he has said thus far, mind you. He is 100% correct in what he said thus far.
Charlie Kirk fallout has exposed every ugly crack in their little pathetic coalition. The masks are now off, the knives are out, and the so-called thought leaders of the online left are now tearing each other to pieces. And that, of course, tells you all that you need to know about the future of the Democrat Party. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so like I said, the left is now fracturing. We've been talking a lot about Destiny, of course, and at one point he was being...
I don't know if the left is fracturing. I personally haven't seen it. Now, maybe they are. Maybe they are, and if they are, good. If they are, good. See, that is why the left had such an advantage on the right. One of the reasons why the left had such an advantage on the right. Obviously, the left has the advantage of, controlling every single cultural institution from politics down to technology, down to, general culture, down to... So, yeah, there's that. But there's also the lockstep unison of the left. The lockstep unison of the left. You agree with everything we agree with, or else you're out of the club. And if you can look to J.K. Rowling, obviously, is the go-to perfect example of that. J.K. Rowling is a wokie. She's been a wokie for a long fucking time. But because she dared disagree with the tranny agenda, she is looked at as a far-right extremist. So when he says the left is fracturing, I'm going to need proof of that. I haven't seen that. Now, yes, you've got your squabbles like Destiny and Hassan, and they hate each other and shit like that. But in general, the left has always been far more unified than the right. And that's because the right isn't really the right. It's disaffected liberals. It's centrists. It's people who are just center-right. It's people who are far-right. Whatever far-right even fucking means. It's libertarians. It's anarchists. It's everyone that is to the right of Bernie Sanders. So, needless to say, there is no unity on the right because there's not really such a thing as, the right, so to speak. So, he says there's fracture on the left. I need to see it. Exactly. Everybody right of Mao. What up, lovely Sherry? How you doing? Hope your lovely Sherrys are doing fine. But yeah, I will need to see proof that there is actual fracture on the left.
Being presented as the future of the party. What a big-brained intellectual he is. He was pushed to the forefront to be the left's debate bro, fighting the good fight on behalf of the left. And now as he's gone completely off the edge, well, it seems like people are starting to abandon him and create as much distance from him as possible.
Did he get the official reason for his demonetization? Destiny was openly doxing people on YouTube just a couple of weeks ago, including chatters. Yeah, 100%. I ain't a Destiny apologist, okay? Destiny totally has nuked his credibility. He has destroyed a lot of any of the perceived legitimacy that he has. He is in many ways exhibiting features that I witnessed firsthand with Too Mad, okay? That's saying a lot. At the end of it all, really, I understand that he's not really someone to feel sorry for.
There it is. The progressive leftoids all over social media are now starting to abandon Destiny. And of
Now, I don't know who this guy is. Does anybody know who this is? That he clipped here, that he's making the... I mean, like, look, just because people are turning on Destiny doesn't mean that the left is fracturing. I want to be clear. Like, Destiny's a scuzzball. Destiny's a straight-up scumbucket. But that doesn't mean the left is fracturing. The left can be just as lockstep as they were, but kick him out the club, just like they kicked J.K. Rowling out the club. Frankly, people need to stop giving Destiny any sort of legitimacy. You know, you got people like Piers Morgan or whatnot that want their left-wing fucking darlings to come on their show and you know, get roasted and whatnot. And that's fun. That's fine. But, like, there's some people that just need to stop being given the fucking oxygen. And Destiny's one of them. Hey, I've literally never seen him add anything of value. I've never seen him add anything of value to any panel or discussion that he's been a part of. Yeah, Killer Games has Bill Maher is a great example of someone that, like, I semi-respect. I vehemently disagree with Bill Maher on a goddamn lot. But he hasn't really changed. He's been pretty goddamn consistent in his beliefs. And they're still sane and rational. RFK, Tulsi, Joe Rogan, all good examples.
Of course they are. Once you rip the veneer off, as the receipts continue to surface, it becomes impossible to pretend as if he's just a provocative centrist leading the common sense left. And I know, in comes the defense of Destiny. It's all overblown, right? It's a bunch of propaganda coming from the right wing to slander and smear him. You'll see it all over social media, people defending
No, I think when you describe the Charlie Kirk Memorial as a Nazi rally, yeah, at that point, that's not overblown. In fact, it's not blown up enough. It's not blown up enough. When you have one of the largest leading voices of the modern left cultural movement, at least for the youth, for the millennials, and he's openly describing the memorial of Charlie Kirk as a Nazi rally, yeah, I don't think it's blown up enough. Smear the queer? Absolutely.
Destiny, claiming he never actually called directly for violence. Well, obviously, we've already played enough clips to disprove that ridiculous claim, but might as well play even more. Again, like I said, the receipts continue to surface.
I'm ready for the great cleansing, dude.
What cleansing?
When we genocide conservatives in this country.
Are you gonna be out in the streets with your Glock?
Maybe. I gotta go back to Nebraska and grab it.
You genuinely do hate conservatives, don't you?
Very much so. Like I've moved full on to like the political violence level or the real violence level when it comes to conservative people. Yeah, I think they need to be like excised from my country.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that Destiny does not represent common sense or common good. No, he's been at the forefront of pushing this eliminationist rhetoric. When you normalize the language of purging an entire political bloc, tens of millions of Americans, you're not debating policy anymore. You're not a voice of reason. You're mainstreaming the moral permission to engage in political violence on the streets. And that, of course, is how a movement slides from dehumanization to justification and then action. Or, let's call it the rise of fascism. Kind of ironic considering they're always claiming, oh, the history books have taught us that this is how fascism comes, and they point at the MAGA side. Meanwhile, they're the ones who are exhibiting the textbook steps of rise to fascism. And now, of course, as people are rewatching all of these clips in the shadow of Charlie Kirk's assassination, I think for a lot of folks, the cognitive dissonance is finally starting to snap.
Yes, okay, I'll agree with that. The cognitive dissonance is starting to snap. You have seen a lot of just regular-ass individuals that consider themselves left-leaning, consider themselves Democrats. They're like, yo, I can't be part of this anymore. You're seeing that. I don't think you're seeing it in any sort of position of power. I don't think you're seeing it in any position of power. I don't think you're seeing anybody on the left that's like in politics or have like large streaming platforms aside from Shu, who has said publicly, yep, nope, I'm done. This ain't for me anymore. What person with a large platform, what person with a large audience, what person with any amount of power has said that's on the left has said that the Charlie Kirk stuff was the final straw for him. Maybe there are some, mind you, but the only one I can think of is Shu, and Shu isn't really. I mean, again, she's not changing her political stance, which is fine. That's a-okay. Just her social one. Again, that's a-okay. She's the only one I can think of. So yeah, no, in terms of the brainwashing. In terms of the brainwashing, this is what happens when you teach people, when you grow up teaching people the Nazis were right-wing, when that wasn't the case. This is what happens when you grow up, teaching people that fascism is right-wing and whatnot. You get people that don't even, they are incapable of considering their tactics to be fascist tactics because they just tie fascism, the idea of fascism, to right-leaning. And if they're not right-leaning, then they can't be fascists. It's impossible. It doesn't mean... this is a failure. And I don't know if it's a failure. I was going to say this is a failure of public education, but I don't think so. This is by design. This is 100% by design. This goes back to the Yuri Bezmenov stuff. So it's not even a failure. In fact, it's technically a success. They have wanted for years upon years upon years to drive home this narrative. They've wanted you institutionalized to think that fascism and right-wing are inseparable. I think they've succeeded in that, which is why you have these types of people.
Is dissipating, people are seeing clearly, and they know that this rhetoric is indefensible. And of course, this doesn't bode well for the left. If they're expecting to win in the public conversation, if they're expecting to actually create a grassroots movement, winning over the hearts of young people, winning the majority, well then they need to have a unifying message. They need to be uniting themselves, creating a broad coalition that can win elections. But well, that doesn't exactly seem to be happening. No more so, it's just complete fracturing. These different
Dude, Ilhan Omar is still on her Charlie Kirk was a piece of shit bullshit. Ilhan Omar, who, may or may not have married her brother to get citizenship here and then became a state representative who stated that she would put the good of her Somalian citizens, her Somalian brethren over American citizens. She is still saying the asinine claims about Charlie Kirk. The reason I bring this up is because he's, liberal high mind here talking about a unifying message. There is no unifying message of the left. That does not mean that they are not in unison in their beliefs. They're two different things, but there's not a unifying message. I will say he is correct.
factions of the left
Agreed,
hate each other and can't
agreed.
get along.
Not that I'm saying that if the Dems also funded this operation that seemingly has decided to go with like an active sex pest with numerous court cases launched against them, who with regular frequency will say like insane freak shit, like celebrating the deaths of the children of Trump voters in the natural disaster that took place in the floods that took place in Texas, or white people's right to be able to say the N-word. Things like that are so insanely out of touch. Destiny is a demon of the internet. He cannot exist.
What the fuck? Am I about to agree with Hassan? Hold on. Has Destiny fucked up so bad that I am by default about to agree with Hassan? Guys, I never thought we'd see the day. I never thought we'd see the fucking day. But holy shit, it's here. Yo, fake or not, I'm not saying he's not fake. But he's right. Like, when he's saying, yo, Destiny cheering for the death of those little Girl Scout gals during the, on the 4th of July is not the way forward for the left, that's an objectively true statement. Yeah. Fair enough, Matt. Fair enough. I'll give you that.
In the real world in this way. Those are all the things that he has done. And that's not even scratching the surface.
Any dip on my subreddit that's talking about how Hassan is like an ally now, we need to unite or whatever. No. The Trump admin taking out people like this, would be a dream godsend for us. People like Hassan, these are the controlled opposition the liberals have to deal with relating to the Republican Party. They would.
Wait. Destiny thinks that Hassan is controlled opposition? No, okay, there is... Let me make this unequivocally clear. There is no controlled opposition on the left. Only the right. People like the Daily Wire. They are controlled opposition. The Daily Wire is controlled opposition. Fox News is controlled opposition. I cannot think of an example of controlled opposition on the left. This iTunes level brain dead statement.
Never, ever seriously come after or harm any of Hassan's platforms, because people like Hassan are a godsend to the conservative movement, because they represent zero threat whatsoever to the Republican Party, because they're politically completely and utterly ineffective. And the only people that they can manage to do is damage their side. Hassan's like desperate attempt to like cast his lot in with me while simultaneously trying to pretend.
No, I don't think the Young Turks control opposition at all. No, I think they're fucking morons. I think the Young Turks are fucking morons that damage any and all credibility they may have at one point had by continuing to perpetuate the nonsense that they do about the Trump presidency, about conservatives, the whole nine. But I don't think they're controlled opposition in the slightest. I would need to see some sort of like financial proof that they're controlled opposition.
That he's like a huge target for these guys. I remember saying that.
It's total chaos. And the question is, well, why does this matter? Well, because it's not just drama. It's the Democratic coalition. Once again, it's more proof of what I've been saying forever. The tent that they've cast is fundamentally dysfunctional and incompatible.
Exactly,
You've got the corporate legacy liberal types who just want to manage the continued decline of America politely, preserve their institutions, and appeal to all their naive notions. And then you've got the online revolutionary LARPers who basically want to pull the pin on civilization and call it justice. Obviously, those...
But Netflix foreign isn't Jeffrey Katzenberg is a lefty though, so like, is he not? Isn't Jeffrey Katzenberg on the left? So being a sellout is not the same as being controlled opposition. Like Daily Wire are sellouts and controlled opposition. But yeah, no, I'm not saying they aren't sellouts, but being controlled opposition means that, like, in the case of the Young Turks, the right would actually have, control over them, power over them, or telling them what to say. Hey, say the opposite of us. Say these negative things. That way we can drive up engagement. That way we can drive up discourse. That way we can drive up discord. That's what controlled opposition would be. Yeah, of course, the Young Turks have always been extremely far left. They've been communists, socialists at the very least, but full-on communists. But of course they're going to kiss the left's ass because the left is leaning towards that direction. So yeah, the Young Turks are not. They might be sellouts, but they're not controlled opposition. And I agree. I agree with that about Anna. Anna Kasparian is still a psychotic lefty. Her getting mugged opened her eyes. She's far more based than 5 years ago. I agree. She is moved further to the right. She's still notably on the left. Notably on the left. She is still an unhinged lefty. However, she is notably more based. Also, absolutely would rail the fuck out of Anna Kasparian.
Govern. They cannot even coexist. You put those two groups in the same room, and you don't get big tent pragmatism that wins elections. No, you get endless purity tests, loyalty oaths, and inevitably total chaos and ideological friendly fire. And like I always say, look across the Western world, look across Western democracies. Especially in a parliamentary system, you see the split of these factions, especially on the left. There's always a centrist party, there's a hard left, eco-green socialist party. Sometimes you have a Labor Party, then you have an anarchist leftist party. But in America, Democrats try to jam all of that into one vehicle. And the result is what we are seeing. In fact, I feel like we just saw it in the 2024 election. We just watched how Kamala Harris tried to run this very careful, consultant-approved campaign. Instead of appealing to the far left, she tried to moderate on all of...
Not careful enough. Not careful enough. If I was Kamala Harris PR dude, I'd be like, hey, have you tried not getting completely shit-faced wine drunk before going on these interviews, talk shows, and even your own goddamn speeches? Like, that's anything but safe. That is the opposite of safe. That is like Uncle at Thanksgiving has had a few before he showed up levels of unsafe.
Issues, and then she picked Tim Walz in an attempt to cater to dads, as if that would work. We all remember that Kamala Harris camo hat that they were all wearing. It's obvious what they were signaling. And of course, all of it backfired as the pro-Palestinian extremist wing of the party abandoned her, and not just sitting out of the party, but actively mobilizing against her. There's an obvious pattern here. You got these activists that radicalize the base, but then alienate any moderates in the party. Then you've got the corporate Democrats and moderate Democrats who fear those radicals, and so the messaging kind of gets a little bit schizophrenic. And then the effect of that, especially as it continues to happen, continues to accelerate. Well, you got everybody else, normal people, absorbing that schizophrenic messaging, and slowly there's a trickle out of the Democrat Party. That's why Democrat voter registration continues to tank. That's why the party is collapsing in approval. And now I think the Charlie Kirk fallout here, well, it's likely to accelerate this phenomenon, especially with the young generation that's paying attention to these online streamers and everything that's going on across these social media platforms. And honestly, to that I say good. It's time for the left to eat this chaos that they've sowed.
That's the one thing the left has not figured out. That's the one thing the left... I very rarely do I give the right credit. I think the right are cultural morons. I do. I know some of y'all ain't gonna want to hear this, but it is what it is. I think the right are cultural morons, and people like Gavin McInnes are an example of this. They see no value in the things that are cultural, that are culturally relevant, that when it comes to pop culture specifically, because pop culture is culture. Comic books, video games, movies, music, the whole nine. The right sees very little value in that, by and large. They don't want to fucking worry about superhero movies. That's dumb kid shit. Fucking go hunting. Split some wood. Some Matt Walsh shit, right? So they have been bound to lose over and over. But when it comes to live streaming, when it comes to live audience engagement and building platforms that way, the right wing crushes it, bro. The right fucking crushes it in ways that the left have not figured out. Like, you've got fucking Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez and Tim Walz fucking playing Crazy Taxi on a live stream. And like, oh, this will be hip with the kids. Like, there is no authenticity there. None. People can tell when you're being authentic. You're not fucking morons. You're not retarded. We can see authenticity. That's why so many people hate Hassan. Because we can tell he doesn't even believe half the shit he says. He's so audience captured, though, he can't go against them because he's made that audience. So, like, the right wing have done a great job. When you see Donald Trump going on Aiden Ross and just, like, talking shit, that is so much more effective than Ocasio-Cortez and Tim Walz playing fucking Dreamcast together. What up, Lauren? How you doing? Unemployment rate is highest in 4 years. Expected to keep rising. Grocery utility prices soaring. Each job gets worse. Republicans have a majority in all three branches of government. Help? No! Don't help. Don't help. That's the problem. What was that famous Reagan quote? The worst thing you could hear. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Don't help. That would be bad. The help will come when government gets the fuck out of this shit.
Let them keep tearing themselves apart as we keep building. And when election season rolls around, well, the hope is that voters are going to remember all this drama. They're going to remember the dysfunction, the infighting, the chaos. But most importantly, I think they're going to remember the hate that was on display. And hopefully more and more people don't want to associate themselves with that. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Well, that was pretty good. My very first literal hive mind video. I quite enjoyed that. I still don't necessarily think that there's a fracture on the left where it matters. There might be a fracture between, like, some big-name left-leaning streamers and whatnot, but Hassan and Destiny, for example, have always hated each other. And they've always had different audiences. Or, I don't know about always, but very recently, at least, have had different audiences. When I hear about fracture on the left, I want to see fracture in the actual political party. I want to see fracture between, the squad. I want to see fractures between the regular good old-fashioned 90s Democrats that are still there for whatever reason, that still hold those values that may as well be considered right-wing now, and Ocasio-Cortez. Needless to say, yeah, I don't see the fracture he's talking about, but I agree with pretty much every point he made about Destiny. Hard to agree every point about Destiny. All right, what else we got? All right. Now, this right here. Charlie Kirk was a martyr, and I'll prove it in this video. Now, before we get into this, new segment. So, got to grip a little bit. Remind you guys, we hit tier 1. If we hit tier 1 at 150, we'll extend the stream. We'll cover state of play. If not, we wrapping up in 50 minutes. We got 50 minutes left in this stream, unless we be hitting tier 1. Alrighty, let's get into it. Charlie Kirk's a martyr. I'll prove it. I don't really think you need to prove it, but goddamn do I love Metatron videos, so we're going to check it out.
There is a big news, and I'm 100% in favor of it. Check this out. House Senate passed National Day of Remembrance for Charlie Kirk. Let's check it out. Days before a memorial service for Charlie Kirk, the U.S. Senate and House Representatives passed a National Day of Remembrance for the conservative influencer after he was killed on September 10th. Whoever wrote this, I appreciate they didn't put far right. Did you see the articles that say that? Which happen to be the same articles that then they tell you that he was assassinated by the far right because he was too moderate. Which one is it? Regardless. The Senate on Thursday unanimously approved a resolution making October the 14th, 2025, Kirk's birthday, a national day of remembrance for Charlie Kirk. Close quotes. I should have said open quotes.
Like, I wonder. I genuinely wonder this. I don't know how this would work, if this is going to happen. Like, kids to this day, do they still go to school for Martin Luther King Jr. Day? Because we did when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we got off school for MLK Jr. Day. I don't know if they still do or not. But if they do, does that mean they'll be getting days off school for fucking Charlie Kirk's birthday in the future? Like starting next year? Or maybe this year. If it starts this year, I don't know. I doubt it would start this year. But, dude, that would be wild. Like living in a timeline. You say they do? They do? Okay. So we're living in a timeline where kids might get off of school for Charlie Kirk's birthday. That is the level of which this political assassination is being taken. That is honestly incredible. I mean that in all of this. Incredible.
Before that, but would you expect professional YouTuber here? I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. You know, of course, I'm in favor of this. I think it's fantastic. And in fact, I have a few other suggestions for the Senate, which I will share with you in a second, so do watch until the end. But there are two things that really strike me when it comes to this. One is this adjective, unanimously. Unanimously. I'm a little confused by this word, unanimously. The problem is that, of course, I don't believe people just because they write something, so I've been checking it out. And what I see is that the Friday vote split Democrats. Now, of course, all Republicans were unanimously voting in favor of this. That's what you would expect. But it seems like that the Friday vote split Democrats. 95 voted to approve the measure, which, I mean, credit where credit is due. But 50...
Wow! This might be disproving what I just said about that last video. I said in the last video that I don't see any fracturing of the left. However, 95 voted to approve. 58 voted in opposition. 38 voted present. And 22 did not vote. That's a pretty notable split. Maybe there is fracturing on the left. Oh, wow.
58 voted in opposition, and 38 voted present. So basically they didn't vote in favor of it, and 22 did not vote. This does not look like unanimous to me. Now, am I misunderstanding something? Am I getting wrong sources on this number of Democrats who voted against it? And we are told that several Democrats who opposed the measure said they were uncomfortable with its praise of Kirk. And here is the resolution in the House of Representatives, if you want to check it out, with some of the Democrats doubling down, saying, open quotes, political violence should never be tolerated. However, empathy is not celebration, and I do not have to call Charlie Kirk a hero. He was no such thing. He repeatedly disparaged minorities, especially black Americans, close quotes. Well, first and foremost,
What you want to? We keep making the MLK comparisons. You guys remember who really hated MLK? Y'all know your history. You know who really hated MLK? The fucking Democrats. Because Deep South Democrats didn't like black folk. They didn't like them uppity blacks, what with all their thinking and ideas. So, yeah, like, if you were just to take this exact same quote, but replace Charlie Kirk with Martin Luther King Jr., and you would have a 60s Democrat quote. 100%. And Clicker Gamer, yes, I am going to watch Black Phone 2. I don't know about opening day, opening weekend, but I am absolutely going to watch Black Phone 2.
This first line you should go tell the tens of thousands of your followers who are clearly celebrating violence and not just tolerating it, endorsing it. And this thing about repeatedly disparaging minorities is false. I'll cover that on a separate video. Am I misunderstanding something? Well, you let me know in the comments. Just a few days ago, when they were trying to have a minute of silence for Charlie Kirk, there were like a bunch of Democrats that just wouldn't shut up. And talking about the minute of silence, I actually did one on my live stream for when we hit 1 million subscribers, and I will share it on this video. So as you keep watching, at one point, I will just show you that little section. I was there with 1,500 people watching, and we shared a beautiful moment of silence. So we did.
That's base, man. That's base. Dude out there does his 1 million subscribers special stream. Man, I can't wait to get to that someday. 1 million subscriber special stream. Moment of silence for Charlie Kirk during his fucking Millie sub party. Based as fuck. Based as fuck.
Congress couldn't. But they do this. So that's the first thing that I want to point out, because you got to be fair. Second thing, however, is the date. Now, I had no idea, of course, when Charlie's birthday was prior to this whole debacle. But I have to say, October 14th, now that I know that, I literally feel like I live in a simulation. Why? You got to be joking. Seriously. Charlie Kirk had the exact same birthday as George Floyd. Now, given. Not that the two things are even remotely comparable. At a human level, of course, I wish they would both be alive, because I don't revel in anyone's death. Different level. But isn't it crazy that they are both turning points, in a way? I'm glad we're not seeing cities being burnt.
I don't know about you guys. But shit like this truly does make me believe in simulation theory. And I see stuff like this way too much. Way too much. Like, once you start, and maybe it's just a case of once you're looking for it, you see it everywhere you go. But once you're looking for it, you see it everywhere you go. Like, dude, it's amazing because you can reconcile Christianity with simulation theory, which is why I don't feel guilty, because as an open and proud, unabashed Christian, I don't feel bad for, like, contemplating simulation theory, because the two are compatible when you break down what simulation theory is. Like, this is... Man, reality is stranger than fiction at times. I love it.
I tell you how it is. While on the Senate floor, Senator Rick Scott, the Florida Republican leading the passage of the resolution, said he is, open quotes, proud to have the support of more than 20 of my colleagues to honor Charlie by dedicating his birthday, close quotes, as this day of remembrance. Absolutely. Open quotes, Charlie was a good man, a devout husband, father, and a friend. His life was shaped by his faith and the idea that in America, debate and discussion are crucial to the betterment of our society, close quotes, Scott said on Thursday. Based Scott. In the approved resolution, the Senate, open quotes, recognizes Charlie Kirk for his contributions to civic education and public service, close quotes. You don't have to ask me twice. I'll make it into a family. It's not just, I'll make it into a family event. We'll go, have lunch, and celebrate in his honor. So two things I want to add to this. One, I do believe it's classy that they chose his birthday rather than the day of his death. Well, on one hand, no one is going to forget that one anyways, because literally 10/11, really? No one is going to forget that one anyways. However...
Wait, 10/11. What does he mean 10/11? It was 9/10. It was 9/10, Metatron, not 10/11. How'd you not catch that in the editing booth? It was 9/10. But yeah, no one's gonna forget it also because it's the day before 9/11. Like, that's... Again, to me, that will never not be crazy. Day, month, year? Right, but where's the 11 come from? Because it would be, if they do day, month, year, it'd be 10/9. I get he's Italian. I know Europe does day, month, year. But even going by day, month, year standards, it would be 10/9. For me in Europe, it was on 9/11. Well, yeah, okay, I guess that. Yeah, time zones would. No, wait, really? Because it happened at like noon, give or take, in America. Where in Europe are you that's 12 hours ahead? I didn't think that anywhere in Europe was that far ahead. I thought you guys were 6 to 8 hours at most. It's like 2:30. Yeah, 2:30. Well, yeah. The event happened between. So his passing was around that time. The announcement of his passing was around 2:30. I meant the actual shot was around noon. So yeah, that makes sense because we were waiting for information and updates and stuff. Philippines is 12 hours ahead, but the Philippines is in Europe. He said for me in Europe it was 9/11. We're spending way too much time on this. The point is Metatron got the date wrong no matter how you slice it.
It is nice that we remember the day he was born rather than the day that he was unjustly and brutally killed, as a way to remember him alive.
I agree with that sentiment. Absolutely.
So I appreciate that. But there is one more thing I want to address because I know that there will be people saying this, so I have to address it. And in fact, it's the flesh and bone, the nutshell of this video. Apart from all the raging lunatics that are going to say, he was a bigot, he was a fascist, how dare you do this? Apart from those, we don't care about those, we don't talk to those, I want to have anything to do with those. You after the one that wanted to speak to your ilk. I am not like him. I will speak to people regardless of their political position as long as they are decent. Once they do that and celebrate and laugh at his death, no discussion with me. It's just me. You want to continue? Fantastic. I will respect you for it. Not me. And
oh, you think he meant 10/11 as in September 10th assassination and 11 for 9/11. Okay. If that's what he meant, that makes sense.
I'd like to underline this only applies to those who are celebrating, laughing, and endorsing for more violence, not those who disagree with me. Massive.
What up, Yamato?
Difference. Now, apart from those, there will be people, however, that may bring up a potentially legitimate counter-argument when they say, okay, he didn't deserve to die. It's horrible that this happened. I feel for his family. However, he was no saint. It was just a regular man. I didn't like his views. So why are you turning him into a saint? Why are you making him into a martyr?
So, Lauren, I haven't really addressed many of your comments because so far they've been ill thought out and just talking points. That one I will address, though. I find that one interesting. You finally said something interesting. Good on you. Third time's the charm. Trump was found guilty of felonies and found liable for sexual abuse. It made conservatives love him even more. It wouldn't really matter to them if Trump flew to Epstein's island dozens of times. I can only speak for myself. Now, granted, I'm not a conservative, but I do not care that he was found guilty of felonies. That was lawfare. That was legal lawfare. It literally was unprecedented. It was novel legal theory. So yeah, no, it doesn't matter. I do not give a fuck that he was found on 34 felonies that amount to fucking monetary crimes, white collar crime. Every single politician in the history of ever commits financial crimes. All of them. As far as being liable for sexual abuse, that was a civil suit for something that happened like 30 plus years ago. I do not believe in accusations in any way, shape, or form being taken seriously from any party, from any side, all those years later. Human mind, memory, eyewitnesses are all vastly unreliable, even within mere weeks and months, let alone years. Could not care less. As for flying to Epstein Island, I've said this from the beginning, and I'll say it again. If there's proof he fucked kids, throw him in fucking prison for life. Death penalty. Don't give a shit. I do not care what side of the political island you're on. I've been the biggest advocate and proponent for releasing the Epstein files. I've done entire live streams where I've absolutely railed against the Trump administration for their handling of the Epstein files. So you're going to have to do better than that, because no, the vast majority of conservatives would say, I would imagine, would say the exact same thing. Trump fucked kids, wood chipper. Anyone that fucked kids, wood chipper. Easy enough.
Now, this may appear to be a good counter-argument, but it is not. And here's how we counter it. You see, we are not making him into a saint, nor a martyr. You did. You turned Charlie Kirk into a martyr first.
Exactly,
with the
Matt,
bullet,
exactly.
With the inscription, "Catch Fascist," which clearly defined it as a politically driven assassination, no matter how you try to twist it. Second, you made him into a martyr because of all of the celebration.
Yeah, someone get Lauren a
laughing
membership.
and giggling.
So, all right, here's what we'll do. I've never done this before, but we'll do it right now. Start throwing gifted memberships out there. If anyone can hit Lauren, I will give you a free Words of Paradise t-shirt of your choosing. If we start throwing gifted memberships out there, whoever hits Lauren, I will give you a free Words of Paradise t-shirt. Yeah, Schizosaurus, I'm going to look into that, and we'll likely cover it tomorrow. Yeah, I do know about the sniper incident in Texas. I'm not up to date on. None of us, to be fair, are really up to date on the facts because they haven't come out as of yet. We've got fragments of information. I'm waiting for more to come out. So yes, the sniper situation from today in Texas, we will likely cover on tomorrow's stream, depending on what information comes out. Just 150 gifted and everybody gets one. That's true, Matt.
And supporting and excusing and justification layers that you have presented to us. Charlie Kirk was a man. He was a man, like you and me. And normally would have sainthood up here, right? Problem is that the tens of thousands of people, they gained hundreds of thousands of likes with all the laughing and giggling. They went from human to this, which elevated him into sainthood by comparison. Literally. You don't believe me? Yo, look.
That Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Hey, ooh, ah.
I'm not saying she deserved it, but I'm saying...
Bro, ever since Shu used this section of clips, everyone been doing it, dude. I've seen Nux do it, now Metatron's doing it. Yeah, everyone's using this selection of little TikToks here. The Lauren Chin shit was sus from the gate, and yeah, I didn't doubt it, I did doubt it. Like, from the moment it was, announced that she was under investigation for, colluding with Russia, I was like, yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. After Russiagate with Trump, anytime someone's accused of colluding with Russians, I just immediately don't buy it anymore. I don't believe it. I will need to see proof.
And God's timing is always right.
Yo, they got Charlie Kirk, bro. I've never been happier.
Never believe the reason I'm smiling.
You absolute monsters. This is scum.
And it has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Nothing to do with...
I would say pour one out for Kirky boy, but I don't waste good beer on little bitches.
Correct, Jeremiah. Correct.
So
Charlie
tolerant.
Kirk just got put down like a fucking dog.
Yes. I repeat, compared to what we just saw, he was absolutely
We'll watch it like this so you guys can see
saint.
Metatron's
And
beautiful
it's
face.
because of people like this that we need to make a stance, which is why here is my suggestion to the Senate. name a street after him in every major city in the United States.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Look, I'm not trying to disparage the memory of Charlie or anything, but we gotta be real. We gotta look at this objectively. Do not go naming streets after Charlie Kirk. And the reason is because, you ever been to a big city and gone to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard or Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue? Every time you go to a Luther King Jr. blank, it's always areas with like broken ass windows and shot up walls and graffiti and like, I just don't think that would be the best way to honor Charlie Kirk, considering if we're going off of just pattern recognition of what happens to these streets. Yes, Kirk Avenue does kind of slap. However, in 10 years, you go to Kirk Avenue and you will get slapped. Like
of freedom. Charlie Kirk Street. They are naming streets after Arab heroes in New York, aren't they? But we should have a Charlie Kirk Street. I want one in Texas, Houston, Texas, one in Nashville, Tennessee, one in Los Angeles, one in New York, and keep going that way. After you're done with that, we should propose that for the European Union, and they should have a Charlie Kirk Street in every single country in Europe. And boy, they need one.
Old Dixie down here to Obama Avenue and still ghetto.
To
Nice.
see a Charlie Kirk Street. It's going to be called Via Charlie Kirk in Sicily, in Palermo, where I'm from. And I'm going to suggest, if you want to make it matter, we have a main street called Via Libertà, Liberty Street. It should be an intersection of that street. So from Liberty Street, you go into Charlie Kirk Street in Palermo. You might think this is a bit much, had you not seen the clips and videos that I've just shown you. But that's why we're doing this. That's why Charlie Kirk has to be a martyr. Not just a casualty, a martyr.
The best part of this whole goddamn thing is that he is not martyr material, so his death will mean nothing.
Watch us. That's why I've got this here. It's not because I'm trying to be...
I love how quickly all these TikToks are terrible. Every single one of them are vile, evil, filthy, and subhuman. But that one's my favorite. That one's my favorite. Because it was disproven. It aged like milk within like 24 hours. I heard Florida changed the name of a street to Charlie Kirk. Really? Let me look that up real quick. One sec. Let me see. Have any streets been renamed to Charlie Kirk? 10 minutes ago, Washington City nixed its plans to rename street Charlie Kirk. Hold on, let's take a look here. All right, Washington City nixed its plans to rename street Charlie Kirk Way after pushback cost concerns. Plans to rename State Washington Street after slaying conservative activist Charlie Kirk and fizzled once the price tag was revealed and local community college pushed back. Longview Mayor Spencer Boudreau, however you would fucking say that, wrote in a social media comment Tuesday that the proposal couldn't move forward due to the $50,000 price tag, noting that past plans to honor local community figures hadn't been adopted either. Okay. I suppose that's fair. Let's see if any others have. Hold on, let's see if there's been any others. Renaming of Florida street in honor of Charlie Kirk fails, what we know. As communities and politicians across the country look for ways to honor conservative icon Charlie Kirk, who was shot and killed on September 10th, the Escambia County Commission voted unanimously not to rename a street in Pensacola after him following more than 2 hours of contentious testimony from residents. Commissioner Chair Mike Kohler proposed the idea to rename a portion of North 65th Avenue to either Charlie Kirk Way or Turning Point USA Road after the National College Activist Organization Charlie Kirk co-founded. It was a rare roadblock in the national drive to commemorate a controversial figure many saw as a relentless champion of conservative viewpoints, free speech, Christianity, family values, and President Donald Trump. Here's what we know. Let's see. All right, where what? I don't care where it was. What do people say? All right, what do people say? While some community members spoke in favor of the idea, many were very much against it, questioning why the community should name a road after someone with no obvious connection to the area. I mean, again, look at all the Martin Luther King Jr. boulevards. Many critics brought the problem of naming a road in front of a high school known for previous racial tensions after a controversial figure. Oh, fuck that. That's a dumbass reason. I can understand the, hey, he has no connection to the area one, but that's retarded. In 76, a riot occurred between white and black students. It was 76. Fuck you. Fuck you. It's 40 years ago. It's 50 years ago. That's retarded. Felt the Civil Rights Act, while passed with good intentions, was a huge mistake. He's correct. All right. Huller ultimately withdrew the proposal, which said was to condemn political violence, and the commission voted. So, yeah, it doesn't. Boudreaux, that's how you say it? Boudreaux? All right, thank you. All those people need to be deplatformed. Yeah, Turning Point USA Road's a bit wordy. I agree. Matt Hatter, obviously I was rounding. Obviously I was rounding. Yeah, I'm not seeing that any roads were named after him. It looks like there have been many proposals, but all of them I'm seeing have been rejected. So, not to say that it can't happen, not to say that it won't happen, but so far it looks like the proposals are all being rejected.
Theatrical is because we have to make a stance against these people that I've just shown you, because they have no decency, no honor, no humanity, and we need to make a strong stance against.
I mean, yeah, post it in the Discord. That's fine. I'm not. If you can find something that I didn't, then by all means, throw it in the Discord real quick, and I'll pull it up. Throw it in the Discord, and I'll pull it up. I'm looking right now. Let's see. All right, let's pull this up. Give me one moment. My resolution to name a road in honor of the great Charlie Kirk just passed 5-0. Lake County is now the first local government. Okay, so they're literally the first. The first local government in the nation to name the road after the great Charlie Kirk. So, okay, when's this from? From yesterday afternoon. So it probably just hasn't made headlines then. Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, this is the first, and it happened yesterday afternoon. So, all right. Let's see. Where is it? Thank you to my colleagues, the Lake County. I'm just hoping more counties across cities. So apparently it's in this area right here? Is that why the mark is there? So, all right. So it looks like it has definitely been done. I don't want to say definitely, but seems like it's been done in one locale. Which, again, is good. I'm not complaining. I'm A-okay. I'm down with shit like that. Absolutely down with that. Need high-value men to teach me the secret settings to become an alpha male. After that, I'll be very rich and women will want me. My brain never... I mean, women do be gold diggers. Some women do be gold diggers, though.
Them. They turned him into a saint and a martyr.
And I will not ever, 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 ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
I just heard that someone shot
Demons. So I'm going to do 1 minute of silence. Chat, you could type if you want. It doesn't make a sound, so it doesn't matter. All right, guys, let's make sure we have the timer. I want the phone with no sound.
Okay.
Here you go. Is your phone with no sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy eyes absolutely
All right, guys,
always give it
I'm
away. I
starting
bet
now.
Lauren in the chat got some crazy eyes.
1 minute of
I definitely
silence
bet Lauren in the chat got some crazy
for
eyes.
Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
Nice little moment of silence there. Nice little moment of silence. Well done. And yes, Elvis the Alien is in the recommended tab. I like Elvis the Alien's content. I haven't watched it in a while, but I like his content. Have you seen the White House Presidential Hall of Fame as Joe Biden as Autofin? No, I've not seen that.
Till we meet again. Thank you, Noble Ones. I really appreciate that. We did it. They couldn't do it. We did it. Every major city, Charlie Kirk Street. And I've seen someone really getting mad at me because, of course, I posted this on X, where I am on fire, and you should follow me. Link in the description. Stop being lazy. Come on, it's just one click.
Agreed.
I'm gonna make it worth your
If y'all
while.
ain't following me on X, what are you doing? I'm gonna take base from Metron. If you ain't following me on X, what are you even doing? You guys want to see some fire content that I don't put on YouTube? Because my thoughts on X are inherently better than here in these videos and streams. You should be following me on X. And if you don't have X, what are you doing? You're missing out. It's a blast. It's a hoot. It's a hullabaloo.
Of it. Someone complained and is like, what are you talking about? That's a horrible. He was a bigot and you want to do this? And yes, precisely because you still say that. You still call him a fascist even though you know that that's what got him killed. You have learned nothing. So what I told this person is, I not only...
my ex is at Bolt the Word.
Not that I matter. I don't matter. I'm no one. I'm nothing. But I will suggest it. Because in the 0.1% chance that someone does watch this video and thinks, you know what, I like that, and they had the power to do it. You know what I told this imbecile before I blocked him? I told him, not only I hope that they do this in your city, but I hope that the one street they choose to name after Charlie Kirk is the one where you are living right now. And I hope that the street sign will be directly visible from your window.
I don't want to open my X immediately. That could, because I don't know what's going to be on there. You don't ever want to just randomly open X when you're streaming. That can lead to some bad shit. That happened with Sammy. Mistakes were made. Full frontal. Like, yeah, it's bad. All right. Oh, hold on. Chat's been difficult. Is it not going through? What the hell? Why is it not going through? This is my stream. I should be able to put links. There we go. All right, there we go. It went through. X is a blast. As long as you curate your stream, as long as you curate your algorithm properly, X is a fucking blast.
Because that's what they need.
Which I guess Landmine works for blast.
See how many people are standing with Charlie. And maybe it will make a difference for the majority of them, but perhaps some that have been brainwashed, perhaps they'll start to see. Maybe they'll start to question and ask themselves, but if he was such a bigot and a racist and intolerant, why are so many people doing this? And maybe they'll look into it. And then they will see that, oh, I was told that he wanted gays to be stoned, but that was false. It was a lie. He never said that. And then they'll see they told me it was a rape.
The amount of people I've seen do these videos, like, Charlie Kirk said XYZ, or I heard he said XYZ, and I watched his content, and he never said that. Like, it's beautiful. You don't see it enough, but I've ran across enough posts of liberals being like, fuck. I've been spreading lies my whole life. Like...
racist, but then they'll actually see the quotes in context. But I was told that he was hateful, but then they'll watch the clips I just showed you, and they'll think, but hold on a minute, how can these people who are clearly showing the most disgusting form of hatred, while his little girl cannot hug her dad anymore, and his wife is grieving him, after having chosen to spend their entire life with him. And they are being like this? And he was the hateful one?
Oh, someone shot Charlie Kirk. Look, I don't know who needs to hear this today, but that's how you pick up a woman.
Whoa, guys, I just figured it out. Holy shit, I just figured it out. Hold on. Let's go back a bit.
Shot Charlie Kirk. Look, I don't know who needs to hear this today, but that's how you pick up a woman.
That's Lauren in the chat.
Fuck your homie dead. He got shot in the head.
got Charlie and the neck. We got Charlie and the neck.
We. As I said on my response video to Destiny, the moment you lose the moral ground and you act in a despicable manner, you lose the ability to call your opponents out. So if no one laughed at this, apart from maybe a couple of idiots, but the entirety of the left wing, and obviously the right wing, and centrists, condemned this, then you could have the moral ground. Then you wouldn't have made him into a saint. But you did. We all saw it. And you tried to twist it. So we stand. On that day, someone will maybe remember among these hateful, spiteful monsters that regardless of what everybody called him, fascist, Nazi, white supremacist, to his little girl, he was just Dad.
The Publius Enigma.
Okay,
Fans believed
he had no right to go that hard there at the end. That was rough. That was great. That was golden. But that was rough. Well done. Great video, Metron. Great video. I don't even know what to say. That was fantastic right there at the end. Ouch. That hit hard. No, I don't know what that was Lauren in the chat. I was just talking shit. Alright. Apparently a pregnant woman in the hospital with liver failure on a ventilator because she took a bunch of Tylenol. God damn it, you can't make this shit up. Oh my god. Really? Pregnant woman, hospital with liver failure, on a ventilator. She took too much Tylenol. And you want us to believe the left won 2020, fair and square. Alright guys, we got like 15 minutes left. We're going to lighten some things up. We're going to lighten some things up for the final reaction of the day. You get what you fucking deserved by, I've seen a couple of Censor Society's videos. I've never reacted to one. So, let's go. This seems fun.
All right, guys, before we even get into it, and yes, we will be talking yet again about Tron and how this woman just keeps getting worse. If you thought my last video on her was peak, was goated, wait until you see what she's been up to. And yes, we're also going to be talking about everyone's favorite power couple, that is iDubbbz and Anissa, because these people...
I didn't know what this video was going to be about. It was in my recommended feed, and I thought, oh, it's 15 minutes, and it's called You Get What You Fucking Deserve. Ha 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 ha. I was like, this just be something fun to end the day on. I did not realize that this was what the content was going to be about. This is definitely going to be fun to end the day on. Let's go.
Cannot keep their mouth shut. Before we get into that, though, I'm sure the world is probably thinking this. I think I saw like 30 articles being written about this. What happened to the daily upload, Sense? Is he quitting? Is he retiring? Long story short, no. But I've been spending a lot more time with my evil twin, dude with an opinion. I've been uploading, we've been uploading like crazy here. So when I'm not uploading here, I'm uploading over there. We're uploading, not me. I definitely don't run that channel. But enough of yapping. The channel will be in the description below. Go check it out. And you guys came here for Tron. You guys came here for Anissa Jamha, iDubbbz Jamha, and all the other Jamhas in the world. So the last time that we talked about Tron, we pretty much clowned it on her for begging for money, being homeless. I believe my last video was called Enjoy Being Homeless. Now, was that a little too mean? No.
No, never. It is never too mean to make fun of these troglodytes. It is never, maybe it's too mean for YouTube TOS. But it is, look, the left be out there, like, shooting people they disagree with. I think there's no such thing as too mean when it comes to words on the internet at this point. We're well
Now,
past
ever
mean.
since then, Casey Tron has continued to crash out on Twitter. Now, she's been taking this very interesting approach to the whole situation, going down the empathy route and also going down the, guys, please feel bad for me, please. She tweets, you know what else is violence? It's 90% of people choosing between food or medicine. It's running on amphetamines to survive 3 jobs. It's losing sleep caring for an elder who would be homeless otherwise. It's housing being more than half of your income. Poverty is violence.
I want to make sure you're all aware. None of this is violence. Literally none of this is violence. You can maybe, I would still disagree with this, but to play devil's advocate, you could maybe make an argument that this is injustice, that some of this stuff is injustice. But it is, by definition, not violence. At no point in any of these instances, in any of these examples, does something violent happen. Therefore, no. Poverty is, in fact, not violence.
It's housing being more than half of your income. Poverty is violence. Casey Tron, I am with you. I too believe society sucks, and I too believe that we live in a society, a sensitive society, if you will. This is like the definition of r/I'm 14 years old and I'm deep. It's like, thank you for stating the obvious. People have it worse than you. And you know what they do? They lock in, they go to work. Now, I love how she's tweeting this from the comfort of her home with AC, with food in the fridge. It's like, what are you doing to help out those causes? If not, stop the...
To be fair, she's tweeting this from the comfort of her home while she still can, because as you said, she about to be homeless. So, smoke them while you got them.
The fucking virtual signaling. Now, guys, it's super easy to come on here and virtual signal. It's so performative as well. It makes me sick to see homeless people, but have you seen my new Labubu? This is a second matcha that I've drank today, by the way. Man, homelessness just makes me sad, but I'm not gonna do anything about it. If you don't have anything to say, don't say anything. It's okay to stay quiet sometimes. This is like one of those thoughts you get when you're high out of your mind. Like,
I love how he's like, if you don't have anything to say, don't say anything. That is the woman challenge, and challenge tier level is impossible. If you don't have anything to say, don't say anything. Challenge accepted. Oh, challenge failed. Every woman ever.
oh, you know what, dude? It's like, we kind of live in a society, man. You know what I'm saying? If I had like $7 billion in my bank account, I would totally give $1 to everyone in the world. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up, please. Someone just said, eat shit, cry, bully. WTF is wrong with you? Stop smoking that shit you're smoking for a second. It's like she's crying about going homeless, having no money. She's begging for money, and she still has money to buy Labubus and buy weed. What the hell does your fat ass know about the working class struggles? You sit in front of a webcam and smoke pot 24/7. It's embarrassing. That's what I'm saying.
And I do not advocate for smoking weed on stream. Just nicotine. Just nicotine.
Saying, I guarantee you she was using her last 2 brain cells to fucking tweet this.
Last I heard, Vernum, yes, that's what. I don't know if there's been an update to that, but yes, she did at one point flee the country to avoid the lawsuit. I don't know if she's returned or what the status is on that, though.
You're getting sued. Why take it out on Olivia? Now, this is the girl that works for Ethan at the H3 podcast, who's been taking a little break because of the drama. That's why I don't feel bad for making these videos. It's like, you people are doing the same exact thing, but when someone does it to you, it's no longer fun, right? It's bullying, it's harassment. Now, YouTube, I'm reading this, all right? Do not demonetize me. I'm quoting, if you will. Shut the fuck up, fatty. You weren't shit 10 years ago, and you aren't shit now. Especially signing on with effing Hassan. You'll soon be in poverty. Then she drops this wall of text.
What
and this is
the
gonna be a rough
fuck?
one. So if you guys could please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you could drop a like on the video, that will be much appreciated. Here we go. Since Ethan Klein has alluded to me being a...
But before he goes with his wall of text, Catzella says, this sucks. She makes normal stoners look bad. Look, man, I'll be real. I don't know what constitutes as a normal stoner. Like, because I feel like there's a difference between people who smoke weed and people who are stoners. Most stoners fucking suck. Most stoners are bad. They're losers. They're boring. But that being said, just because you smoke weed doesn't make you a stoner. Like, because I know plenty of people that smoke weed that are incredibly productive and healthy individuals. So yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if she makes normal stoners look bad or not, because I think most stoners are already bad. But again, I don't think that just because you smoke weed that makes you a stoner.
POS, a bitch, you are, an awful person, or whatever else he said about me, since many of you guys don't know who I am, including Ethan, who is only suing me because of my proximity to Hassan.
No, hold on.
Right there.
Phone collecting, you are not a stoner. You literally said, after a long day at work, you're enjoying some green. You're not a stoner. Stoners can't function unless they're high. So, like, if you smoked before work and then stepped away from work to get high once your high wears off, then you get home from work and you continue, that's a stoner. I'm confusing stoner with burnouts. I don't think so. Because stoners can still like burnouts have no prospects. Burnout is the next level above stoner. A burnout has nothing to live for. A burnout has lost anything and everything by the time they're like 22. Stoners there's annoying. But yeah, no, if you get up, you shut the fuck up, you do your job, and then you go home and you smoke, by all means. But I no issue with that. You ain't a stoner whatsoever. I don't drink at work. I drink when I'm done with work. I'm not an alcoholic. Exactly. You get my point?
He's not suing you just because you're friends with Hassan. That is such a stupid thing to say. He's suing you because you stole his copyrighted content and you told people, don't watch his, come watch mine. And you broke the law. He was open to the idea of settling. You offered him, was it $15K? And the GoFundMe has $45 to $50K. It's like, so you just want to pocket the rest of the money and give Ethan what is essentially nothing. 15K
How
is
many
nothing.
simps this broad got to get almost $50K in donations? What the fuck?
It's because she wants to keep it. Her, along with others, have had opportunity after opportunity to settle, and they don't because they want to get greedy. And, well, you know, look how that's going out. As many of you guys probably know, being predisposed to poverty exposes you front and center to things like drug abuse and domestic violence. I went viral on Twitch in 2013, right off the heels of Gamergate. I turned all the misogyny that I received.
Is this broad really bringing up Gamergate in 2025? Is this broad really trying? Dude, alright, I'll be real. I talk about Gamergate now and again. I talk about it in regards to when we talk about censorship, when we talk about issues in the gaming industry. Like, a lot of my videos, I've mentioned the original Gamergate, because I was there, bro. I was in the 4chan trenches, baby. I feel like most of y'all, and most people in general, don't fucking remember or know or were around for Gamergate in 2014, which is fine. It's been 11 years. Move the fuck on.
As a female gamer into a satirization of what misogynist thought girl gamers were. I went viral and became Tron. This sounds like the lamest superhero origin story ever. During my peak on Twitch, not only was I targeted by the platform itself.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Matt. Like, yo, I absolutely grew up in poverty, and it's like none of that shit happened. Like, don't get me wrong. There's been some not good moments in my life. There's been some definitely some poor moments in my life. But how much of that was my poor decision making, not the fact of, oh, because we are a poor family or whatnot. Yeah, no, fuck that. Fuck that.
He wasn't gooning to you, but I was swatted and dogs have photoshopped nudes sent to my family members. Anything you can think of, everyone gets swatted and dogs. The photo shooting nudes is disgusting, but at the same time, you leaned into that crowd. Those were your fans. You played into that role, and then you're surprised they're actually misogynist and they're disgusting men. This is just to play on your heartstrings, all right? This is just so you're like, you know what? Casey Tron is not a bad person. She's a victim. But I'm like, what does this have to do with the lawsuit? Everyone has a sad story. I'm sure if I told mine, some people would be sad. I don't know. And I'm sure you guys have your own stories. It's
You're telling me,
dude,
Jeremy.
we've all gone through tough shit. In 2016, I was able to qualify for a loan, and I bought my first and only home in foreclosure for a whopping $100K. We quickly moved in. I bought a home with...
What were you doing buying a $100K home? If you're, like... What were you doing back then? Because I only found out who Casey Tron was relatively recently. Like, she brings up Gamergate, but I'm gonna be real. She was not a major player in Gamergate, because I don't fucking remember her. Like... maybe I saw some old clips be like, oh, that broad, but in general, by name, I don't remember her at all. What were you doing in 2016 that you bought a $100K foreclosed on home?
enough space for my family, a place that will be safe haven for my mother to get away from his abuser. This is where we're gonna get into the reason why she told us this tragic ass story, right? The thought of losing it all because
yes, it was,
of
Chill
one
Noir.
man's ego
Gamergate
is
1 was way
extremely
worse than
difficult to
Gamergate 2.
comprehend. I've carried many burdens in life, but never one where the suffering feels so pointless. Ethan Klein is lethally exposing me to hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees, as many of his fans and onlookers claim I deserve to lose everything, shout out to Sans, and be homeless just because I'm an awful person. Now, the sob story ain't gonna work with me. I saw right through it. They're trying to play on people's heartstrings. It still doesn't make it okay.
To be fair, Matt, maybe a Photoshop Casey Tron would, it would be better because it's not actual Casey Tron's body. So it's far better than the alternative of the news being real.
You to be a piece of shit. And this is what gets me. I'm taking one more mental health day. You are about to get sued. You are in no position to be taking any breaks. What breaks? You should be grinding harder than ever to get the money up. I have no time for mental health breaks. That is a luxury, all right? In this context and this situation. Once again, you guys want to know what the funniest thing is? All of this could have been avoided if Casey Tron settled and she offered him $40,000 to $50,000. That is in the GoFundMe, by the way. This wouldn't be coming from her directly, but instead, once again, Casey Tron offered Ethan $15K, and she wanted to keep the remaining $30,000 to herself. That money that was supposed to be only for the lawyer fees. You got greedy. I forgot I tweeted this. And reading all of this, homie, get your bag up. You've had 40 years to stack bread. Womp womp. See, guys, this is what you gotta.
Is Casey Tron really 40? Hold on. Is Casey Tron 40? How old is Casey Tron? No, Casey Tron's 34. No, he's being disingenuous. Casey Tron's 34. I was about to say, ain't no way. Yeah, I will agree she looks 40. I will agree she looks 40, but I was like, there's no way she's actually 40.
Follow me on Twitter. I mean, that's where I be trolling. That's where I be silly. Yeah, I'm not reading all of that. No one cares. Please feel bad for me. I was homeless at some point. Okay. All of this, not a single mention that you stole content. Just a sob story and blaming Ethan for your bad choices. This is not how life works.
Overcooked for sure.
Yeah, I don't feel bad. I'll be celebrating when you go homeless. Don't care. This whole process, I've told myself I'm not going to hide it by suffering. My suffering is going to be front and center.
What the fuck did... Okay. If you, as a creator, or just an individual, just a person in life, if you make your suffering front and center, if that's your personality, just know that I hate you and think that bad things should happen to you in a video game setting. Like, there's literally no reason whatsoever. The people that make, like, their trauma and all that, their personality front and center, go fuck yourselves. And if you think that's going to get you simp donos on your live stream, you are probably correct, but that doesn't mean you're not a disgusting piece of human filth.
Yeah. I'm going to be telling my sad story over and over again so people feel bad for me. That's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm giving Ethan exactly what he wants.
The more somebody puts the, like, their feel bad for me stuff on full display, the more I actively root for their downfall. And like that's my sin. That is my toxic trait, as the girls like to say. The more I see you being a sad sack publicly and not like handling it on your inside feely parts, the more I actively want you to fail and will root for that failure. Like, I don't often pray for people to fail, but when I see it happen after you wear your all that bullshit front and center for so long, once you inevitably do your fail, I might just like look up to the sky and be like, thanks, big guy. Just give God a quick little, I appreciate you. Good looking out, homie.
To laugh at the suffering he's exposed another human to. You're like 40 years old typing like you're 13. P.S. I'll be back Saturday. So it's just more breaks. It's break after break after break when you should be making money, or else you will be going homeless. It's like... Oops, I dropped my microphone. And then the wall of text continues. But I'm not gonna put you guys through that. I'm just gonna play the video that was attached to this because ain't nobody got time for this.
Maybe you'll be hearing from my attorneys. Oh no.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go on Twitter like Casey Tron and talk shit to everyone and then say you should feel bad for me.
Start crying instead of settling.
And then I'm gonna target random people's fucking employees.
I mean, is you wrong though?
Guys, I have a confession to make. When my mother was pregnant with me, she took Tylenol and I came out retarded. That's my sad story. Send me money. Truly, it has been hard in the streets these 30 plus years being a tarded Tylenol baby. Send me money. I'm just like Casey Tron.
That's literally all Casey Tron does, dude. AB responds with, do you not notice how I didn't respond to the comment? I was playing with random people from chat. Saying you're playing victim wasn't about the lawsuit. It was about you randomly coming at me and then saying I'm bullying you. I'm not going
it worked! The Casey Tron method worked! Thank you, Zalozi. Let's get you your clip, son. You know what? We'll give you this one. Well done.
I know now that it could never work between us. Not because you're a rabbit, but because you're black.
The Casey Tron method strikes again, boys.
Feel bad for you when you lie about my wife and say she is pro-Israel. I'm not going to feel bad for you when you make light of my life and my struggles and then complain about yours. But, you know, it's Casey Tron, so the wall of text is... Oh my god, I hate my life. Please stop. To be clear, I don't think you specifically are bullying me, but you are aligned with someone who's trying to do tremendous financial harm to me and others. Until you denounce the lawsuits against us, I have to assume you support them. Everything aside, this bitch is crazy. Now, I did promise you guys we were going to talk about Mr. iDubbbz. I don't even need to say anything.
I might do different times, so it could be like during the night or something. I still haven't figured that part out. Because I don't know if I want to be streaming when fucking Hassan's streaming.
War Wizard 199 says Beardo Fat for $1.99 for Leon's Tylenol Tard Fund. Bro, the Casey Tron method never misses. And just like that, the stream is demonetized, but absolutely worth it. Thank you.
But I also might want to stream while Hassan's streaming because he deserves like a little competition. I think that's maybe a good idea. Especially if people see me as like the white Hassan.
I mean, isn't Hassan already white?
I was about to say, yeah, Hassan is the white Hassan. What the fuck does that even mean?
Even about, dude. So does this mean that iDubbbz wants to take away a minority's job? And that minority is Denims, because Denims is Hassan's waiting room, and iDubbbz wants to replace that. So not very inclusive of you, Mr. iDubbbz, to remove a brown woman. And I hate that I missed this. I don't think I talked about it. This is a little older. This is like a week, 2 weeks. And these are some very heavy accusations that Anissa Jamha is saying about this guy. This is iDubbbz's boxing coach. Anissa says he wouldn't stop hugging me. It was really, really upsetting. I kept trying to push him off and he wouldn't. I was embarrassed. It made me feel really embarrassed, and then he wouldn't leave me. He kept hugging me, and I was trying to push him off, and I cried. iDubbbz, can you explain why DF I was crying? Essentially saying
what
that
the
he
fuck did I
touched
just
you
read?
Inappropriately. I don't know about you guys, but that is a crazy thing to accuse someone of. The woman in the photo was literally a forced child bride at 12. But Anissa is a real victim because she was hugged. It's been months, if not years, since this went down. Why have you not talked about it yet? Why are you just making this accusation out of thin air? I don't trust Anissa at all. I would trust someone that would fuck me over about 30 times in a row over Anissa Jamha. Anissa Jamha is a fucking liar. Do not trust her. Even if she says something as basic as, look, the sky is blue, I wouldn't trust her. I'd be like, yeah, right. I'm sure those...
Yeah, imagine trusting someone so little you gotta double check the sky. Like, Anissa says the sky's blue. All of a sudden, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Am I on planet Namek right now? That shit might be green if she's saying it. Like,
sky is blue, Anissa. I'm sure it's not red. And then we get this insane lie from Anissa.
A couple months ago, she had always told us one of the reasons that she told me that people hate on Ian was because she had done a...
What is going on with homie's face? Dude! Y'all know how everybody changed their profile pic to Clippy? This is like if Clippy's face were real, like on a real dude. If Clippy got transmogrified into a human with kind of a Taliban beard, this is what we got going on. This looks like if DJ Khaled and Nagarnal fused. For those of you guys that watch ABF and know Nagarnal, dude, DJ Khaled and Nagarnal were all like, it's beautiful.
Me a hijab. So I'm like, oh damn.
Wait, hold on. What does that have to do? Wait, oh, okay. Anissa said that she was in the porno with Mia Khalifa.
Yes. This is the first conversation I had with Anissa when I first met her at the gym. Michael told me, hey, the YouTuber's coming in today with his wife. They're training. You know, come and meet them and film, right? And then I go and I meet her and I said to her, hey, you know, we don't really know much about the YouTube world. So are you also a YouTuber? What do you do for work? And then she like literally giggled like, and she was like, well, you know, I actually had a porn video that went viral. And I was like, oh my God, I just looked around to make sure nobody was around us because why are you talking about this at the gym? And then she's like, yeah, I had a porn video that I did with Mia Khalifa and another Muslim girl. And the three of us had hijabs on. And it was very controversial. And I got lots of death threats.
Yes,
and then
that
after
Mia
that,
Khalifa,
I was like, terrified for my life. And Ian needed to protect me. And so that's how I became famous, you know? So she made it seem to me that was how she was.
That's
what she was
such a
for.
crazy thing to lie about.
Yeah.
Why would anyone lie about that?
No. Let's be happy it's a lie. Can you imagine? It's 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. on a Wednesday, and you just can't sleep. You're having trouble falling asleep. You gotta spank the monkey a little bit just to bring on the snooze cruise. And you're like, oh, what are these hijab-clad individuals doing? I wonder if I can get off to the... And it turns out to be fucking Anissa. Bro, ruin your whole goon sesh. Like, thank God it's a lie.
Like, one of the stupidest things to lie about. Why would you fucking lie about something like that? And to finish this video on a lighter note, do you guys want to see a 40-year-old woman crash out over a Reddit comment and her being accused of making... I'm not making this up. Of her making
Invincible
fake bagels.
Anissa.
Haters are out here so angry, they're complimenting my baking skills and seething over flaky sea salt. Got two of the bagels. I can't with this. Got two more bagels cold fermenting in the fridge too.
Okay. I think this is as much brain rot as I could possibly take. I need a drink after this. Ain't no way. I need to go drink alcohol immediately.
What to get?
Okay, yeah, I desperately need this. Cheers, guys. After the slop, we got a drink. This is the only way I survive, so take a sip, guys. You're drinking with me, whether you're legal or not. We're gonna go to jail.
What a way to end it. What a way to end the show. I'll be real, guys. I'll be real. I don't know if you guys like drinking or not. I like drinking. I do. Now it's too early in the day to drink. It's only a little after 3 p.m. my time. It's 3:15. But I will be on Zax's show tonight. Cause Zax, a good boy, a friend of the channel, puts the man in Manitoba shoulders for days. Zax. Tonight will be his last live stream for a couple of weeks. He's going on vacation, so of course he's going to be celebrating and hanging out. And I will be drinking. But I'll be drinking good stuff. I'll be drinking good stuff. So, yes, join us tonight. But yeah, that's going to be the end of it. I mean, we out here. I just wanted to roast abroad, man. I just wanted to roast abroad. Figured that'd be a nice, fun way to end the show. Let me set up the raid. Let's see who we're gonna raid, because you know we be raiding up in this bitch. Let's see who we got. All right. I know that Wizard is about to go live in 14 minutes. Maybe we'll give Wizard an early raid. Let's see. Zax is a legend. Zax is my fucking boy, dude. Man, when we met in Vegas, that guy, Zax is a salt of the earth motherfucker, let me tell you. Zax is a real one. Truly one of the greatest people I've met through this platform. Let's see. When is... Let's just search real life fake wizard. There we go. Alright. We're going to raid Wizard. He goes live in about 10 minutes. Real life fake Wizard, my boy, goes live in about 10 minutes. So we're going to raid him. Guys, we out here for today. Show up in his chat. Say Vital Idol Raid so that they know it's coming from us here. You guys are absolute legends. Thank you so much for the donations. Truly appreciated. If you haven't joined the Discord and you're a member, join the Discord. If you got a membership and you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord. We party tomorrow night. If you are a Discord member, tomorrow night we are doing a Dragon Ball Evolution watch party. Yes, we're doing a Dragon Ball Evolution watch party. We're going to Mystery Science Theater 3000 this shit, and it's going to go up on the channel. So, yes, it's going to be a blast. If you haven't joined the Discord, join the... Credit Manga, why? Because I got bullied into watching it with over $200 in Super Chats. Last Friday night, y'all sent in a ungodly amount of Super Chats and donos, and the punishment was we gotta watch Dragon Ball Evolution as a watch party in the Discord. So that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, join the Discord, get in on that tomorrow night. Again, Vital Idol Raid. I'm gonna raid Wizard right now. Thank you so much, everybody that turned up. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere, and this has been Words of Paradise.